and welcome to Nayna's Prepping Kitchen. Hope the lighting in the back doesn't bother you too much. It is what it is. It's Mother Nature coming through the windows. But today I have a special guest that I'm going to be bringing on here in just a minute. And we are going to be talking about, different things that you have around the house in a medical emergency that you could use, for whatever the situation would be. So here I'm going to introduce you to Jen.
Hello.
And she is like part of our family. So, but one of the things, and actually she had brought this to my attention. Let's see if we can get a little closer here. She brought it to my attention, that if you needed bandages and you didn't have bandages, something as simple as a pair of socks, and what would these socks be good for, Jen?
So what I really like about the socks is, one, they can be used for a really good tourniquet in case of a really bad bleeding wound. They can also be used to filtrate water. All you would have to do is put some dirt and some grass to filtrate bigger particles, and you can actually just hold it over your mouth and squeeze it into your mouth. Now, it's going to taste right, but it is the safest way to drink water in case of emergency.
Okay. Next thing here, we're going to pull out a T-shirt. Something that most of us have around the house is a T-shirt. And even in Walmart, if you go over to the arts and crafty
by the
section,
tie-dye section.
Yeah, you can get plain white T-shirts there that people get to, use to put different decorations on or whatnot. But, and they're really cheap. They were like probably around $3.99, I think, the last time I checked. So, a plain white T-shirt or a plain,
any
nice
color
clean
T-shirt.
Yeah, any color would actually work, and we could use it for.
So also a good thing for the T-shirts is they are good bandages for wounds in case you don't have any gauze around or anything like that. It's very absorbent. They're also really good for tourniquets as well. They're also very good at, if you fold your shirt and was to dip it in, say, a river, it could also filtrate your water that way. It's also really good for, what else was I going to say? Oh, if you were to fall in, say, into a cold body of water, whether it's a pond, even a puddle, stuff like that, it could be really handy to use to dry your body off to keep you warm so you don't get hypothermia. The best fabric that you can use to filtrate water, believe it or not, is silk. So if you have any silk handy, whether it's pillowcases or, that special nighttime nightgown or whatever you like to call it, those fabrics are really good for filtrating water as well.
Okay, so we've went to the T-shirt and the socks. Next we'll go with, how about the bandana that, most of us have and use them, to wrap around our hair or whatnot. Some people even use them, for masks.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other things that...
So one of the best things for bandanas is it's going to be probably your best option for a tourniquet if you're looking to get something super tight, because they are a thinner material, so therefore you can grip it tighter. Like my mother-in-law said, it is really good for mask in case you're, say, in a fire situation, or if you're out in public and there's like another, I don't want to really say it, but pandemic. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but we all know what we're talking about. But those are really good for masks to keep out some bacteria and diseases, to keep you safer in public to try and combat illnesses.
And if nothing else, good to tie your hair back with, or maybe even tie other things together even.
It's also, believe it or not, even with them being thin fabric, they're also a pretty strong fabric. So if you ever needed to tie something together, even like, say, if you're cooking outside over a open fire and you build the little rack with the sticks, You could hang your pots and pans by that. Just keep the distance away from the fire so it doesn't catch.
Yeah.
But in case of emergencies, you could use that to cook food with. It's also really good for tying lumber together.
Yeah. Yeah. You can actually, if you had like sticks
Yeah.
out there in the woods and you had a little bundle, of your sticks and twigs, tie them together, it'd be easier maybe to carry.
And I just want to point out the fact too, if you're ever out in the wild and you're hunting your food, it's also a really great way to carry your meats that you harvest. It will keep the bacteria out from the meat, and it will help keep the absorbing to keep your meat fresh.
Okay, and then here we have which should kind of go along with it, a washcloth.
So washcloths can also be really good use for, say, a mask. It might be a thicker mask, but it's really good to filtrate smoke in case you're ever in a fire situation. They're also good for their typical use for drying your body off to keep you from hypothermia if you were to fall into a cold body of water. Mm-hmm. They can also be really good for cleaning wounds. They wouldn't make really good tourniquets just with their size, but in a short case scenario or a worst case scenario, if somebody was to get like a stab wound or anything like that, you would put that around the wound and just push down as hard as you can to stop the bleeding.
Great advice. Okay, now we have here just an old raggedy. Let me tell you, this is probably raggiest towel I could find here. And since it's already ripped, you might as well rip it some more. And you're going to have a rag. Now you can make this smaller if you needed it to be smaller, but this would be great for...
It'd be great for, obviously one of the best things it could be used for is for a blanket in case of cold weather and you're outside. It's also really good for its basic needs for drying your body off. It's really good to help people in case they do have hypothermia to warm their bodies up naturally, because you don't want to warm your body up too much too quickly because it can actually put you into shock. So people always recommend, like doctors and that, for how long it takes you to get the hypothermia is how long it should take your body to warm back up to keep you from going into shock.
Okay, and other uses, I think, this day and age, women are having a hard time finding, their monthly needs.
Our monthly needs, yes.
And, last resort, ladies, you could cut these to the length that you needed, and it would be definitely better than nothing, So keep those old rags, and tear them up, into different sizes and stash them away in a bag so you've got them, and nowadays we have to, kind of think outside the box and in different scenarios how we could put these things that many of us have right here in our own homes, and if we don't, they're easy to get right now. Later they might not be so easy to get.
So another piece of material, clothing-wise, that is also really essential, believe it or not, are bras. Now, we didn't bring out a bra, just
because.
But in case of emergencies, bras can make a fantastic filtration for a mask in smoke environments. If your house ever was to catch on fire and you find yourself on the ground, if you can try and crawl your way and find a bra, you can put one of the cups over your mouth and your nose, and that will filtrate majority of the smoke. My best friend not too long ago actually ran into a burning house to save some pets for her neighbors, and she actually was able to save her life and the pets' life because she put her bra over her mouth and nose. So it was miraculous that she had no smoke insulation at all because she had that bra as a mask.
Yeah, that's a true story. I remember that. We've had 8-10 fires in our location,
in our community.
And so, you never know when, you're going to need to pull your bra off, maybe, and guys,
one more piece of article of clothing as well that's really good for a tourniquet is a belt.
Yes,
Now,
definitely a belt.
The metal belts are going to be your better option, in my opinion, only because they last longer, in my opinion. They don't ever come loose because it's in the hole of the belt versus the ones that you gotta weave your way in and then pull it and tighten it. Those are also really good. You just gotta make sure you watch it to make sure it doesn't come loose because depending on where you're using it as a tourniquet, that part of the body will twitch from nerves being, squeezed. They're also going to twitch because of pain, if they're in a lot of pain. So just watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by no means I'm no survival expert.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are just things that I've heard from friends of mine that do a lot of hunting, a lot of stuff out in the woods. I've also learned it from research, just going online, looking it up, because during this time, it's always never wrong to be prepared as much as you can be.
Right.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. And she does have quite a bit of experience. Is it okay that I tell them that you are she's a type 1 diabetic, so she's been dealing with, quite a few doctors in and out. Do you have any suggestions for...
because she was bringing that up, if you are on any kind of medication, say insulin or steroids or seizure medications, make sure you talk to your doctors, talk to your pharmacist, and definitely if you have insurance, talk to your insurance agency and see if you can set up some way where you can get a little bit extra for every prescription you get so you can store it aside. One of the best things, if you are a type 1 diabetic, if you ever find yourself running out of insulin, there is insulin that you can get at Walmart. It is $25, I believe. It's not going to be the most potent insulin that you're used to, like your Humalog, your Novolog, stuff like that. But in a pinch, it would save your life because not having any kind of insulin, if you're a type 1 diabetic, you won't survive more than a couple days.
Yeah, it's a death wish then.
I've been hospitalized many times because I've ran out of insulin myself because I was going for a year and a half without insurance, trying to battle it with jobs and all that. There's been times where I ran out for 3 days and I ended up in the hospital and really DKA, which is very, very deadly for type 1 diabetics. There's been a time where I actually lost my life and then was revived because I was instantly given the insulin I needed and it brought me back.
We have a miracle gal sitting right here. So, but anyway, guys, I hope this information has been helpful to you. Like I said, we're no way medical experts or anything like that. These are just, our suggestions, our opinions. You do what you feel is right for you, as always. And,
so don't ever hesitate to talk to your doctors or pharmacists or even nurses because nurses are just as qualified. They might have just not went to school for how to do surgeries, but they know their stuff. Don't feel afraid to hesitate to ask them for any kind of advice on storing any kind of medication. If you do have young kids in the house, make sure you provide medicine that's safe for them to take because adult medicine will make them sick if they take it. So make sure you have medication. And also, what I also recommend, if you do have pets in the house, I would recommend stacking up on medications like your flea and tick, medicated shampoo, because you can always wash your pets in the lake or pond or whatever like that.
Good point.
Any kind of medication that you can get over the counter, I would do, and then talk to a veterinarian and see what you can do about maybe setting up and getting some supplies for in case anything happens.
Good point. Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're gonna get off here. We really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. To all you newcomers, thank you so much for stopping by and returning.
Hit that like button, guys.
Yeah. So till next time, guys, toodaloo, God bless. Hope you all have a great one. Bye.
Bye.